What the dealio, Fokios and Fokoramos? Hope you guys are all doing good. I just kind of jumped on and did this live kind of like on a whim, whatever. So, yeah, I just want to put that out there to those of you that may be watching this tomorrow or at a later time. But we've been busy with a lot of stuff today, a lot of stuff going on. But what I want to do is bring something to you guys' attention is that I told you guys that there was a friend of mine, and I'm not going to say his name. I didn't get permission to, and I like to keep people's names kind of under the radar a little bit too, unless they give it out themselves. But I know y'all are thinking to yourselves like, Ty, you are going live kind of late. Yes, I am. But the thing that I want to bring out is that when I told you that I was going to make that guy famous, and I said this was personal, and this is a personal friend of mine, we got busy. See, there's ways of doing things, people. And pretty much what I want to let y'all know is that he is no longer employed at the U of I. That teacher assistant that went and flipped the table that I showed you guys a video of yesterday, he is no longer employed at, I said U of I? I mean, he's no longer employed at ISU. That's what I meant. Yeah, so this is not going to be that long of a video. It's going to be rather short. I just want to get that information out there. But if you don't know, it is Derek Lopez. All right? It's Derek Lopez. University fires Turning Point USA table flipper from teaching assistant role after campus outburst. Derek Lopez faces disorderly conduct and criminal damage charges after flipping Turning Point USA's table. Illinois State University teaching assistant has been fired after he was captured on video flipping a Turning Point USA table and tearing up the group's flyers. While Illinois State University does not comment specifically on personal matters, we can confirm Derek Lopez has been relieved of his duties as a graduate teaching assistant, pending further investigation, the school confirmed in Monday afternoon release. Now, I told you guys, and I'm going to repeat it, I don't care how many times you get upset about it, that this was personal. When you have certain connections and things like that, you want to make sure that you are people, you want to make sure that you are in good enough with people to where they know your heart. They know that you're not doing this out of spite. They know that you're not doing this to be bitter. But when I saw that guy do that, especially to some people that are friends of mine, like, yeah, they're the people, the Turning Point USA chapter in Bloomington, Illinois, they are friends of mine, okay? And God, Bloomington, we just been getting put on the map lately, ain't we? We just been getting put on the map. Charlie Kirk was just here. I did the video with Charlie Kirk on the campus and everything like that. Charlie Kirk loses his life. Turning Point USA goes and set up their table up there. Do you get this weak, coward, feminine energy, easily emotionally charged teaching assistant goes up there and flip the table and pull their stuff and rip their flyers up and destroy stuff? And he got hit with basically a misdemeanor, but that wasn't enough. So I told you that I was going to make it my personal duty to go further into this, in which I did. So I do want to say to certain folks, you know who you are. I'm not going to go too deep in identifying who you are, what you do. I appreciate y'all willingness into the complaint that I brought. To individuals who jump-started this ball rolling into what we seen as a result of him losing his job, I appreciate you guys for doing that. I appreciate you for listening. I appreciate you for watching the video. I appreciate you guys for passing things along to the proper channels for this to get out like this. Now, with that being said, Derek Lopez lost his job as a teaching assistant for doing what he did, right? And I keep telling you guys, the way that you do this, beat them at their own game. When they went around talking about MAGA being intolerant, MAGA being violent, MAGA being this, we got to see them actually be the very thing that they claim that MAGA is, right? We got to see them do that. Now that we saw that, I said, now what's going to be the hypocrisy of it? Because that's the beauty, folks, and I'm just keeping it real. That's the beauty of individuals that's like myself, where I know y'all might think this, but I say it all the time. I'm not conservative. I'm not liberal. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm just Ty. I speak at Democratic events with Democrat people around. I speak at Republican events with Republican people around. Nobody's going to put me in a box and say this is what I am. What I do, I'm all about righteousness, and y'all know that I'm all about the truth when it comes to things. And so for me to put this out there, get this thing steamrolling in Bloomington, and look, y'all that know me in Bloomington, you know what type of guy I am. Those I shook hands with, you know when I talk with y'all, I give y'all hugs, I listen to you guys, I talk with you guys. I will sit there and talk until we done it. We talk late into the evening. No, I'm not that type of guy. But what I am saying, when you have a certain type of influence in your city, in your town, your words can hold weight, especially when people see that I do things out of purity. I'm not out to harm nobody. Y'all see that I got people that are homosexual, gay, trans that follow my channel. The people that I see out in the community that are that particular way, you see how cool I am with y'all. Shake your hands, I hug y'all. We talk about stuff, we talk about food. I don't disrespect you guys or nothing like that, right? So when you carry yourself like that, folks, and you see what we saw happen at ISU, Turning Point USA, with a friend of mine and another guy whose table got flipped by that crazy, radicalized teaching assistant Derek Lopez, people tend to heed to your word. They listen to you. I'm just telling you. Now, the other thing, and I'm just telling you guys straight up, the other thing that I did, and I did call for people to do, but we were playing y'all game. When I say y'all, I'm talking about the far left folks. We are playing you guys' game. He also apparently works for State Farm Insurance. And if y'all don't know this, the headquarters where State Farm Insurance started is here in Bloomington. So like a good neighbor, y'all, you heard me, where State Farm started, the home birth of State Farm is here in Bloomington, Illinois. So I made some phone calls. I made multiple phone calls. I reached out to several other people because apparently he supposedly worked for State Farm Insurance. Me as a director know that there's policies that are supposed to be implemented and enforced. Some policies say you are not to be of any sort of negative attention, violent attention on the job and off the job. And it just so happens State Farm Insurance policy states that they are to conduct themselves in a respectful manner. They're not to be in violent incidents. They're not to be involved in like DUIs and things like that. They're not to be involved in being aggressors of certain things. They're not to be hateful. They're not to be doing it. This is what State Farm Insurance policy said, and this is what they said to me. And as a director, that's one of the main things we do, guys. We get policies and we read them. We got to follow policy. Now, most of the time in healthcare, depending on what company you work for, our policies state that while you're out and doing whatever it is that you're doing, you're not to have any type of scrubs on that has the hospital's name on it or anything like that. If you're out just in your regular clothes like how I'm dressed right now and stuff go down, blah, 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 that's to be of none effect. But if you have the hospital or the healthcare organization that you work for, if you have their attire on, the name badge and everything, and you out and you get caught doing something that's, considered to be unseemly in the eyes of your workplace, and they can fire you, right? So all I'm saying therefore is this. When he got on with State Farm Insurance, he did all the training, which a lot of us have to do. He did all the compliance training. He did all of that, right? State Farm says you can't do that on the job, and you can't do that off of the job. He did it. So I want to know if State Farm is going to hold up to that golden standard of theirs regarding following through with their policy. So that's going to be the next thing. And yes, you can say, well, Ty, you're calling for this guy to be fired. Da, 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 da. Yes. I'm only doing it based off of their policy. I want them to enforce policy. Like right now, I want our mandate with President Trump to follow through. I want them to get the illegal criminals out of our country. I want them to get these crazy gangsters and thugs. I want them to crack down on crime. That's what I voted for. So if I see it happening, I'm going to make proper phone calls and everything like that to make sure that what I voted for is being enforced. So if State Farm Insurance says this is our policy and every employee is supposed to follow that policy, well, I want to make a phone call and let y'all know y'all have a policy that's not being followed by a guy named Derek Lopez. And here's the video of what Mr. Lopez did to some people that were just standing out advertising their event. That's it. And this is what Mr. Lopez did. And this is who State Farm has working for them. Does this guy represent you, State Farm? I don't care how long. Ty, his livelihood, that's his fault. He knew the policy. He knew what he's supposed to do. But you know what happened? He felt very involved. He felt very enabled by, and I'm going to keep on saying it, get mad if you want to, I don't care. He felt very involved. He felt very enabled. He felt very encouraged by the psychological psyops that's been going on for the past 4 years. Under the Biden administration, these people were able to do these things and get away with these things because police then were being told to stand down and not do anything. I showed you guys a video about maybe months ago when they tried that with Brandon Tatum. And Brandon Tatum pushed the person and that person messed around and found out, right? So what am I saying that for? Ty, what if that was you and you were, well, one, you don't have to worry about me misrepresenting my job on or off the job. I'm the same person. And people that work with me through facilities from Chicago all the way down through St. Louis, they will tell you Ty is the same dude. Like, yeah, I have a professionalism about me as a director. Of course I do. We're in meetings and things like that, or talking with patients, doing care plans, things of that sort. But when I am out of work, I still conduct myself in a professional, in a respectful manner because number one, I do it for God, period. That's it. The way I represent myself on the job, in life, is a representation of how Christ would want me to be, period. And that's one of the reasons why I think people see me as being a person that's, you're not going to pull me this way, you're not going to pull me that way. But at the same time, the reason I'm saying that because a lot of you that have emailed and DM'd and said things like, what if that was you? You know, yeah, if that was me knowing my job's policy, me knowing how I'm supposed to conduct myself, if I get out of pocket and do something like that, yes, bring it. Let them come at me and say, Ty, you're no longer going to be needed here anymore because of you violated the company's policy by, destroying somebody. Yes, I should be fired. So what else do you got? The next thing is this. He was actually in a master's program, apparently, at Illinois State University. Well, him losing his job as a teaching assistant is one thing. Now we're going to go down to the level of you being a student. What does it say in ISSU policy regarding you being a student? Are you allowed to be violent? Are you allowed to be disorderly? Are you allowed to destroy other students' property? Now I'm going and I want to look at ISU's property and how a student is to conduct themselves. Dude, isn't it enough that he lost his job as a teacher assistant and you go after him at the State Farm and you're going to also go after him for being a student? He should be expelled? Yes. Yes, because you know what? Just like the left, how y'all do it, I'm just playing y'all game. This dude posed a threat. Now the chapter at Turning Point USA, they're going to walk around looking over their backs because they don't know if he's going to attack them physically now. I mean, if he can attack the table on camera and everything like that, surely he can do something else while they have their backs turned, right? So I feel that my friends at Turning Point USA, if this guy can destroy their property and attack the table, I feel that my friends may feel a little scared, a little intimidated walking on campus because this teacher assistant who's supposed to be a representation and who's supposed to be a leader at the school, who has been demoted now to being a student now. Wait a minute. I think that my Turning Point USA chapter friends feel a little intimidated. They feel a little scared. They don't feel safe, right? Yeah, they don't feel safe now with him being on campus because now, that might have gave them some trauma. They may be scared. They might have messed with their mental illness. How do we know if a few of them may not have a class or two with this individual, huh? He's in the master's program. How do we know that when they see him, they don't get scared? How do we know? So I think that the dude doesn't need to be on ISU campus because he is not what ISU represent as being part of the student body. He doesn't need to be there. So yes, I told y'all, this is not going to be the year of patty cake and this stuff. People need to get their butts whooped. Metaphorically speaking, they need to get that they need to get that spanking. They need to get it. All the going into timeout, those days are over with. All the just letting you get away with it, those days are over with. All the giving you a warning is, I'm gonna give you 3 warnings and you're gonna be in trouble, big miss. Oh no, those days are over with. All the, I'm gonna count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm at 5, 5 and 1/4, 5. No, those days are over with. You've been told, you know right from wrong. You chose to do it anyway. Now get ready to get this spanking. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know this is a late live, but I just wanted to give you guys that update, give you that good news. I hope that something can happen if we get a hold of some other individuals, that they may be able to possibly go after him civilly. Because, you know, he's messing with their, y'all, look, I'm just, he's messing with their mental health right now. You know, now their grades may not be, their grades may be on the hinge because they can't stop thinking about the fact that, you know, my friend, he was sitting on the table and the dude pulled the table, he almost fell and everything like that. You know, he can't stop thinking about that. So now it's starting to interrupt his grades. And, you know, anytime he sees a man bun, he just gets re-triggered about what that teacher assistant did to him, who's also still a student at the school. So, you know, we need to, yeah, that's what's going to happen. So anyway, guys, I'll keep you guys posted on anything that's going to come up new. Do not forget that if you're in this chat right now, double tap the screen. If you're on your phone, if you're on the computer, just click the thumbs up button right now. If you have 3 little dots somewhere up here or down there, if you click those 3 dots, I think those will allow you to give this video a thumbs up too. And what that does, it pushes this message out there in the YouTube algorithm world so people can see this message and see what's going on. And folks, those of you that are about righteousness, those of you that are about law and order and justice, you have to bring this stuff to them. You can't be this. I'm just telling you, this is not the year of mercy. This is the year of consequences. And you got to bring the consequences, and you got to bring it hard. You have 4 or 5 years of being able to know what you should and shouldn't be doing. And now you're just getting ready to get it. So anything that comes up like that, we are on it. Just like that teacher I reported on today, that family sent me video of that teacher up there in Chicago who sat there and mocked Charlie Kirk getting shot. We're on top of that too. And we have made phone calls, and there's certain individuals that we got in contact with, and they said, oh, the school told me her page is no longer up. What is that supposed to mean to me? We need to go further than that. Because if students, like I mentioned earlier, if college students can be expelled for mocking Charlie Kirk's death and mocking him getting shot, then what about this teacher who is on camera for millions of people to see, her mocking Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck, and she did it like a few times. And she's still teaching at the school. We're getting on top of that too. And I told y'all, you need to quit putting stuff out there, because if it's something that's if it's something that's going to be in Illinois, Missouri, Tennessee, Florida, y'all not going to be safe. Because I made so many connections. I and other people and other content creators and other certain folks y'all don't know about that's in the justice system, I'm going to utilize it. So anyway, folks, with that being said, I appreciate y'all all being in here. Hope y'all get some good sleep. And we'll be keeping you guys updated on this story. And I also will be, of course, doing videos and all that tomorrow. So make sure y'all just keep that all up. And appreciate y'all all being here. All right, get ready to let you guys all go. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man. And I hope and pray that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I pray that every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.